So this is a video going through the WordPress and different configurations and how it all works. So when you first log into WordPress, I'm just going to go from the very beginning. You don't know what level, etc. Individuals looking at this could be experienced or have never seen WordPress before. So I'm going to play it safe and start from the beginning. So as soon as you log in, you see a dashboard, and generally you can look at all these messages here. If they're red, etc., like this, they need to take notice of them. The green ones, generally are sort of informational ones. The red ones generally need to take notice, and sometimes they can be to do with updates on apps and plugins, etc. And then here you've got sort of welcome to WordPress and other information. Generally don't really need to know or worry about this page here. Just take note of when information with a red bar comes up, because it could be important. So on the left hand side you have home and updates. Updates is when it's requiring to update your plugins, etc. The reason we haven't done so is because it's on the development branch, but it'll be good to do this as soon as it goes live, because then it's all up to date on the live website. You then have post, which I'll go through in a minute. Media, different libraries, etc. You can have the pages, comments you can see from individuals. Table press is something we've added. I'll go through WordPress forms, something we can add it, and this is something we've added. And templates, you can ignore actually. And then you have parents, which sort of shows the themes, allows you to customize them, see the widgets and edit the menus, etc. I'll go through all in detail, the plugins you've logged in, the users you have and the users you can add, various tools. You don't necessarily need to worry about this. You don't really need to worry about this either, or settings. You don't need to worry about settings either. And the Twitter feed, of course, is what we've used to link up your Twitter. And Smart Slider, you don't need to worry about that either. So if we go up to posts and we click on all posts, add posts and categories and tags, etc. But if we click on all posts, you obviously see the list of posts that have been made, and these show on the news page. To be able to add one, I know this may seem like I'm going through step by step, but I feel it's better to do that. You can click add, new. As soon as that loads, it gives you some information to help here. You've got a title, a description as well, and you can also add images too. And on the right hand side here, you have the block. You don't need to worry about a block, but on the right hand side you have various bits of information. Typically you don't need to worry about this at the top of yours. If it's a featured blog and you want it to be right at the top, you click this here, which you've set up, so stick to the top of the blog. You can then go down to categories. If you want to add categories, etc. These are just example ones. So if you want to be able to put your blogs into categories, you select it here, so it'll be in there, categories, etc. And to add one, you simply click add category, new category name of what you want the category to be, and the parent of the category. So if it's a subcategory or something, you just click this and it would say this would go underneath panel. You can also add tags, which is good for SEO. You just type them in here. You can add a featured image, of course, would be the featured image of the article. You can add information here if you want it to be shown in favour of the whole body of the text, but it formats it anyway, so you don't need to worry about that. Discussion, you click on discussion and you can allow people to comment or pin backs and trackbacks, etc. So it's just sort of to do with links, and so if you don't want someone to comment on this blog, it's just information, etc. You can untick it. And then post attributes, you don't need to worry about. It's just it's just the template you're picking, or if you want a category here, then you can disable the navigational footer, but I wouldn't recommend that. So if we go back to all posts, if we go back to all posts here, you can then show you how to edit a post. So if you click here, you've got quick edit where you can edit the title, slug, etc. and change what category is in. It's uncategorized at the moment, and you can pick the template or change the tags. Or if you want to allow comments or pings, etc., you can put it here. You can unpublish and publish blogs here, and you can make it sticky, i.e. it won't move from its position. But if you want to sort of edit the whole title and the blog of the content, you just click edit, and there's the title and the information, and it's easy. You can literally drag images onto this to add them, and you can change the text, etc. as well. You've got something here called edit with eliminator, so if I click that, it's going to take you off to that now. and this is sort of the view you would see on the actual page, so you can see it easier. And on the left hand side here, you can add in sections a heading image. For example, you just add it here, for example, and then you would see image sides, the alignment, caption, and the link if you wanted to link somewhere, etc. But we won't go for that now, so I don't want to make this a super long video, etc. You can also style it, so change the width of the image, the max width, if you want to hover over it, if you want to border. And advanced, you won't necessarily need to worry about this, but if you want to add custom CSS or margins or background, etc. to it. But generally, this would be okay. Brilliant. So just clicking here, and you can change its position. Put it at the bottom, the top, etc. Here, and if you wanted it to display in a different area, actually before I do that, I'll show you this page because you could get stuck here. So I've clicked on this text to edit it, which is great. But say, for instance, you want to add a section or something else at a later date, and you're a bit wondering when if you get back to those bits of information you can add in. Well, it's done here on the icons. You just click this, and you can see the sections. You can also search for them too. And if you want to change where the information is on the box, so image galleries, star rating, etc., you can do all of that. Testimonial, social icons. I'll just go down slowly so you can see them. There we go. And you can add more as well by going pro, but it's probably not necessary. If you wanted to change, so these are change the position of it, etc., and you want to add more text, you can see the categories and categories here. You can add a widget here. So I want to show you adding sections. So if you want to add sections and you didn't want it to be like this, just one long one where you've got the image at the bottom of the top, and you wanted, side information, 2 bits of information, 3 bits of information, 4 bits of information, you'd click here on the plus icon, and then you'll be able to add it. So I've added that here, and you can see it's added 2 sections. So then I can add 2 images if I want to do. Here's one image, you just literally bring it there, and I go back, and then you can bring the image here as well for the blog. I'll click here, and this is where you update. You can also preview the changes, see it in responsive mode, and see the history of changes that have been made by an individual. But for this purpose, I won't actually update this, and I'll exit to go to dashboard, and I'll leave the page. Okay, so that's blogs covered. Pages very similar. So I'll go through it, but obviously you probably don't want to be watching a long video. You just want the basics, etc., to get started. So similar thing, quick edit, very similar to the blog page. Obviously you don't add tags to a page though, and you can obviously change the template here. Click cancel, if it lets me. There we go. If I click cancel and I click edit, this will come up. Again, the block is here, very similar to the last time I explained it. You click edit with Elementor, sorry. I'm not eliminating anyone. And when that loads, I'll show you here. It's the same for every page. So again, the sections here, etc., you can add. So as you can see, this is a section which was added. This is text. This is various bits of images, and same here. So you can see these are each individual sections. And if you wanted to edit one, you quite literally click here, etc., and it takes you to that section with the text, the title, icons you want, etc., what view you want it as well. And if I click on Contact Us, you notice it's Contact Us, and the link goes to team members. But you don't need to worry about that, because that actually is an example page for me to show you. But let's go down actually. So say for instance you wanted to add more information and sections. You remember briefly when I said you could add 3 sections? So these are good use of it. It's an example of if you wanted to add content, etc. So it's as simple as adding that 3 sections, which I showed earlier, add an image, information. So it's really good, really quick at adding new pages once they've been set up. And it goes down to here, and you can nice use of cards. And then here, this is another section, just ideas, etc. you could explore on a future date. But we don't need to worry about that. So actually, let's go out of here, exit another dashboard. Let's go to all pages. Don't need to worry about that one. Okay, let's actually go on which is made. A good example would be discipline. So if we click discipline here, obviously you know your discipline page. It's just a standard section edit WordPress because they didn't need to edit with Elementor, because it wasn't sort of intermediate complex layouts on there. So it's an example of what I've just shown you is one sort of mock-up of how you could do sort of complex layouts, etc., like some of the other pages, or if you want to export yourselves as well and experiment. But if you just want to do text, etc., you can just go to the standard editor here. But if I click edit with Elementor, there we go. You know, there's a section basic, etc., but then you can do more powerful things. So here, add 3 sections, and go back to here to see the sections, add in a section title, etc., etc. But you've seen that, and I probably don't want to bore you any longer. So if we go back here and edit to dashboard, and that's the pages. And you'll notice on each individual pages, on some of them, there's tables. And if you want to locate these tables to edit information, you go table press, all tables. And this is where they all are. So if we want to edit one with information, say for instance there's a different members of council, you click edit. Don't worry, we've already linked up to the pages for you. And the way we've done that is we put a short code into the page, which I'll go into detail soon. And then you'd simply come here, change the name, etc., address if you wanted to, or add more table rows by manipulating the table. So adding a row, inserting an image, a link, advanced editor, don't need to worry about that really for the purpose of content, but you just add a row and edit that information. And you can also change the position of where that individual would go or what table. I won't go through each individual table because, you know, it's a table, it just has different information. But the important thing to note is the shortcode, the title of it, and the table contents. You can change the positions and change the information in here. And you can also add rows and manipulate it too. And you've got other bits of information here which you don't need to worry about. But I'll just scroll through so you can see it for reference too. Just pause the video to give them a read. And if you want to add a new table, it's as simple as adding a new table, and then you would add a title name, etc., the number of rows and the content, and you see the page I've just shown you. You would add the table there. So if we go to pages, we go to cut winners. Actually, a better page would probably be Junior Cup under 16. There we go. So if you can see Junior Cup under 16 here, you know, specifically on this page, if we preview it here, you'll notice, you know, there's tables, etc., just loading the results. I'll just go back instead of waiting for it to load, because we're on the preview, so it's okay. But if we weren't on the preview, obviously you'd not have to wait for it to load, but I don't want to go to that process because it might take an extra 20 seconds and I don't want to be taking up all of your time. So, but you notice here, when I mentioned on those shortcodes, as I noticed, so the bit of information here, which you can see the live page in your own time, you can just go to it and you'd see the tables there and they're searchable. But you see the title and the description here, and you notice finals, semi-finals, etc. Well, there's the table ID. That is what corresponds to the table I showed you in table press. So if you added the information there and added rows, that will be reflected here because you're putting in the shortcode. And shortcodes basically work as helpers really, so you're not having to copy and paste loads of content all the time. So you have the editable area in one area, and that's the only place you change it, add it, delete information, and we ever have the shortcode. It doesn't have to be this page, it could be another page. You can show it in multiple places as well. It'll all be updated in the same place. But if we edit with Elementor, I will get it right. There we go, you can edit here as well as if you wish to. So I'm just showing you there's 2 editor options and edit to dashboard. I think that's the base of information you need. You don't need to worry about forms. Really the important ones are the tables, so you can see to edit them, the posts, adding new ones in the pages and editing them as well, etc. Because now this gives you an overview of how it works, and how to edit content, add content categories, how shortcodes work, where the tables are, etc. So you've got a base of information to get going. Pretty detailed. I haven't skipped over there's other things I could go into more advanced, just sort of the templates, appearance, etc. But I don't think that's needed because I think obviously you guys will be able to pick it up and get up to grasp fairly quickly, I'd imagine. But if you want more detail in terms of these as well, just let me know, and I'll happily provide that. Thank you.